This is the reboot of a podcast that we started doing quite a while ago. I'm going to be starting a separate channel for this that's not included on my main channel. However, I'll probably be clipping out little parts of the conversations that we have with other creatives, my friends, people that I've met on this journey, clipping out little parts that are important, that have lessons in them, and then posting them on my main YouTube channel. But yeah, basically this is just going to be like long form conversations about anything and everything to do with photography, filmmaking, being a freelancer, like you could learn stuff even if you're not a photographer, videographer, even if you're like a graphic designer, illustrator. It could be anything, because we are in the business of filmmaking and photography, being creatives. That's our full-time job. Well, your full-time job now.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, for those who haven't really discovered our previous podcast, we didn't really promote it that much. We did talk a little bit about like where we started and stuff like that. So I just want to introduce Simon. So I've known Simon for, how long have I known you now?
Not even that long, actually.
Not that long.
Maybe like a year and a half, actually,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
But we got to know each other pretty well after you introduced me to like Carl and some of the guys, and then you convinced me to come to like a shoot with like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And I was really hesitant to come, but I was like, I'll come meet some people. And then we went to Carlo's old apartment and then just like met heaps of people. And it was just like, it's instant connection. And then went to Japan, and like that was really sick.
Yeah, you came to Japan. That was cool.
Yeah, it was literally just like, come to Japan. Like, you're really cool. I'm like, I just met you guys. Like,
Yeah.
probably not. And then a couple months later, went to Japan. So
Yeah.
that was really sick. But traveling is really good fun. But yeah, I think this is like, because there's so many podcasts like this.
Yeah.
Where we talk about the creative stuff, or like what it is like to be a creative and all that sort of thing. But I think with your years of experience and what I've gone through as well, and the other people you'll probably end up talking to as well, it's like you'll encapsulate all the things that aren't so relevant just to, or like limited photography and film. I think there's so much stuff that people that aren't even involved in creative business can, relate to this. Like the video that I just uploaded, heaps of my mates that I did not expect, did message me and just be like, hey, thanks for that. Like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I did not expect that at all. Like, I didn't even think they would even open up my Snapchat to go watch that video, to be honest. So
So if you guys don't know, Simon also has a YouTube channell.
Very small.
Small YouTube channel. I'm really small too. Like, I'm still, working my way out. But yeah, you vlog and recently put out a video like offering some tips for photographers and filmmakers like starting out, I guess. And like how to,
that
which was really cool.
That was purely because a friend of mine who at uni is just starting a photography page, and she was asking like a lot of questions, like a lot of good questions too. And there were when I was thinking about those questions, they were frequently asked queries that I've received a lot from people that are just starting out, or even people that have been in the business but are just curious on how I approached it. So I just thought about giving some of my insight, and I did emphasize the fact that like my advice is purely my advice, like from my own experiences, and that's what you got to take from anything in this industry, is that like it's from people's own experiences and their own journeys. Like, there's no right or wrong. Like, you just got to take it, you try it out, you see how it runs. Yeah, that's how you got to do it.
All right, so explain like how you got started in. Did you start in photography or video? You started in video first, right?
Well, actually, I started photography. So I actually went to, like, a lot of people at the moment are doing like that first shoot, like throwback thing on Instagram story. Yeah. So I look back to my Google photos and I was like, oh man, like my first ever shoot was 2015. So that was like 5 years ago. So I was in grade 10. So if someone wants to do the math, they can figure out my age now. But I was in grade 10, and I remember I had my dad's camera, and I just remember having a lot of fun with that. We would go to the botanical gardens with my grandparents and just take random photos. And the process I found was very fascinating. And I remember looking through photo albums and just finding the sentimentality of it was really cool.
Yeah.
But at a very young age, it's just like something you find fun, you just keep doing it and you roll with it, and then you end up probably just losing the passion for it and you just move on to something else. But I didn't really lose it, and I think the energy kept going mainly because I was surrounded by my mates. A lot of boys that just did a lot of sports, and it was purely for the fact of like creating memories. So aside from doing fun little shoots on the weekend, like after school with my mates, it would be every weekend, like when there's a sporting event at school, I'd bring my camera, take photos, and then the guys would have something to post on their Instagram or on Facebook, and for me as well. And then fast forward to like grade 12, I started becoming that kind of photo video dude for school, and voluntarily just took up every sport every term, would present at assembly. And that was just sort of my title. And then I ended up becoming the guy that would just do that for every club or event. And then I ended up making a graduation video. This was all voluntarily as well, because I just enjoyed it so much. And from there, that's when people like Chill, who's an old boy of my school, sort of noticed me doing that, because when he was at school, he was doing that too. So he noticed me and he brought me along, and just sort of mentored me bit by bit. And then after I finished school, we undertook a huge project together. And then from there, it was just like a whole year of me just going straight into like doing uni on the side, but after school, after graduation, it was just straight into work. And I didn't even realize that. I was like, oh crap, like I'm a full-time freelancer now.
Straight out of school.
Like I was starting to do festivals and then doing brand work for small companies around Brisbane. But it was just so quick and so much that a year had flown by. I'm like, holy crap, like there's so much I've done. So yeah, since then it's just been slowly cracking down on like testing, trials, making mistakes, seeing what works for me, and then just finding my own position in the industry, lots of networking, contacting people, getting rejected heaps, but sending out emails and having amazing clients, having really shit clients. Like it's all a really natural experimental process. And at the moment I'm like, still trying to find my pace, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a good deal and met amazing people. I think Chill was actually the sort of person that brought us together, because
we met through him.
Hearing your name and Sam's name a lot. But yeah, that's something that I did emphasize a lot in the video I posted, was how important networking is.
Yeah, for sure.
It is incredibly important, not in just this industry. It's sort of just like, if you're not going out there and like talking to people, and you keep saying like to yourself and other people and on social media that you care about this passion, it's like you got to back it up. Like, do you really care about it? Like, are you going out there making moves and talking to people, making emails every weekend and like every day actually, and just seeing what kind of things that can work for you, and like, are you doing all these things? I think the missing link in that, like, networking is super important. However, I feel like the missing link that we might have glossed over a little bit, that I think like brings all of us together, like our little group, we've all had our own successes. And I think the thing that brings us like, I think the thing that, is like common between us all was that in the beginning stages, we were like super prolific, which means like we just put out work all the time, regardless of like the quality. Yeah, that's true.
Because you said like you jumped on every school sport that you could possibly shoot, right?
Yeah.
And you were constantly shooting, which means you were constantly learning and you were constantly getting feedback from other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then like you found, I know like a lot of people might be like, oh, there's no one out there who's going to help me, who's going to take me on board. Just like I would consider like, how much are you putting out into the world? Like how much work? Because I think a lot of people, they don't put out enough because they're afraid. They want it to be their best work every single time. And I think that that's how actually I got started and I got noticed by other people, was just consistently putting out work, whether it was videos or photos, you as well. And I know a lot of other people who just put things out constantly, and that's what put them on the map and on the radar of other influential people that could give them a career. I wasn't as lucky as you. I didn't get to straight out of high school, like straight into a freelance. But
well, that's the thing, man. Like heaps of, like, I know for sure, I didn't really go down the path of doing this, but people love to play victim. People love having that pity and playing that victim of like, oh man, it's so hard. Like, I need help,
oversaturated.
Like, it's oversaturated. It's overwhelming. I'm like, dude, get your head out of your ass. Like, if you're in this day and age, obviously times are different from 10 years ago or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, like disregarding this whole situation we're in right now, you have like the fact that you can make a business from one touch away from your phone.
Exactly.
Like social media is so intuitive right
You
now.
connect with brands, you can connect with individuals.
You honestly,
it's
you don't have any excuse. Like you really don't. And anyone that says it's too overwhelming, man, I completely get it. Like there's so much out there that it can be very stressful. You're like, oh man, I don't know how we can start because there's so many of these cool people. Like, what's the point of me starting? I'm just it's like a little speck in this huge industry. But if you keep thinking like that, well, then obviously you're not going to get anywhere. Like, think about the top tier photographers. They would have thought the exact same thing of you. The only difference is they got out of bed and actually started doing it. So it frustrates me a lot in particular when people do all the talking, but they never actually like put the actions behind the words. And I know that can frustrate you sometimes as well when people will talk and run their mouth of doing this and that, and this is how they're going to be and how they want to be perceived. But where's the evidence? Like, are you actually that person, or are you just trying to back yourself and just think that you are? Yeah,
that's it. I've been thinking a lot about that recently, and like especially with my like, because you know, I want to have a YouTube channel. That's like my number one focus, but I also love Instagram, you know? And so I'm like, oh, I want to be doing brand collabs and stuff like that on Instagram. So I'm like thinking, oh, you know, I need to start doing like fake, you know, like shooting products, showing people that I can shoot products, basically. Not necessarily fake it till you make it, but like, you know, taking photos of products and putting them on my Instagram. Doesn't matter if it's a brand collab or not, but just showing people that I have that potential to be able to do that thing. And a lot of people, you know, they might think, oh, you know, I can do it, but I just need someone to put me on. Like, you got to put yourself on. You got to demonstrate that ability first. And if even if it's not a big brand that notices you straight out of the gate, it's somebody who might be connected, not even with a big brand, but with somebody else who's, you know, you're connected by these like branches to like something higher up. And so networking and being prolific, I feel like in your first year of photography is like that combination of those traits will actually put you in a position of success way earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't, because everyone, what I also emphasize is the fact that it is overwhelming. And people saying the phrase of like, how do I find my style and stuff is you look at people's pages and you think, obviously at first glance, like, oh man, that's incredible. But how do you really think they got there? Like, they would have had to try so many different things. Like, obviously all the stuff on my Instagram now is a tiny speck of what I've done in the short amount of time I've done. So I'm sure in your Instagram, it doesn't even reflect the 7 or how many years you've done this. Of course not, because on social media and our websites and stuff, it's what we want to be perceived as from clients so we can get hired. But obviously we're not going to post our personal things or the things that we did back in the day from like our clubbing days. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But you got to really think like, no one starts straight away just going into the big league. Like, you can't be that lucky unless you meet the right people. I mean, that's very rare.
It's rare.
So you just got to be humble and stay grounded and just think small. Like, we're in especially in a place like Brisbane, you've got to think small. You can't just think, okay, I'm going to start working with Tommy Hilfiger. Like,
exactly.
Like, you can't be, I mean, like, great, love the ambition, but like, let's just start small. Go to a cafe, just start shooting some photos. See that what gets you. Like, my first paid shoot was a cafe, actually.
Oh, really?
It was a cafe. And then
shooting food?
Yeah, shooting food. I did a lot of food stuff. I enjoyed it purely just because my friends were enjoying all the food porn they were getting on Instagram. But like, after that, it was clubbing. And then clubbing was amazing because got to meet amazing like musical artists. I remember the night I got called up to shoot Hayden James at the TBC. Well, that's closed now, but at TBC, I got called up to shoot Hayden James. If anyone knows Hayden James, incredible artist. It was like a really late night after party, and I was about to go to sleep, and I got an email because I did some videos for the Flying Cock, who also own the TBC, and they're like, you know what, Hayden James is coming on tonight. Are you still awake? Do you want to come shoot a video? I'm like, yep, I'm there.
Are you still awake?
I'm like, dude, I'm there. Brushed my teeth, but I didn't care. Like, I was there, and I raced down there, and I shot it, and it was incredible. Like, I got to meet an amazing YouTuber who I've been following as a big influence on my videos, Sam Evans.
I remember that.
Incredible YouTuber.
Cool.
And I got to meet him in person in the green room, and I was like, dude, holy shit. I'm just like, I'm meeting in the green room Hayden James, bloody like Sam Evans. I got to meet Camouflage Rose. Got to meet this incredible guy named Benji who like make these like insane hoodies. And he also I think he's a manager for a couple artists. But completely,
I
But
know who you're talking about. Yeah.
like, I know that's a very specific example but by saying yes to something that I could have easily said no and gone to sleep.
Yeah,
I got
'cause
to
you're too
make,
tired.
yeah, I could have, I made incredible connections and
Yeah,
got to meet like these incredible people.
yeah,
And yeah, at the time it was a bit of clout. It was a bit like, yeah, dude, I got a shot for Hayden James. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucking sick. But yeah, that was, oh man, that was like middle 2018. And at the time I was doing a lot of like marketing videos, a lot of brand work, because doing uni at the same time, I had weekends available and a lot of afternoons available. So it was just like 2-3 hour shoots. I could, and from the time I was doing, I see it as training. So when I was at school and editing these videos, they had to be really quick. Like they had to be delivered the next day. Not that someone asked me to, but I felt I was obligated to my cohort and my school to present it to the next day when I got to film the event. Because it's like when you go to a party, they take photos of the party and they take 2 bloody weeks to deliver the photos. Like, why should you have to wait for that long? So I felt it in my own like blood just to be like, you know, I want to deliver this as soon as possible and still deliver really good work, but I wanted to showcase this as quickly as possible and then like, you know, have that out there. So doing that training for a year and so at school helped me definitely in the professional world.
yeah,
Because even now on my current work, not as like an ego boost, but they do say like they are impressed by how efficient and how quickly my turnaround is. And that's something that clients really appreciate, is the fact that the quality does not decrease, but the efficiency does, and it keeps increasing along with the quality. And that was something that I did improve on with doing a lot of brand work, social media content, was getting quick content and videos out there, but still maintaining quality. And that was a trait that I was able to maintain and pretty much promote to other clients. And that's was a lot of with you know word of mouth marketing that helped me get around a lot. And again, you know, mixed with networking and word of mouth, if you just do a really good job on one job and people like you for just being an honest, genuine person, you deliver the work and you exceed people's expectations, you will get more work. Opportunities will come. Like it's like it's written in the script. Like you will get new work. And even if you don't for quite a while, then just keep on hustling. Like, it's inevitable for you to do good work if you're hustling and people see that. Like people love that sort of journey, and that's what I got to that's what I got to experience.
yeah,
Again, not as like trying to brag or anything, but I didn't ever, from the top of my head, I never got a job from emailing a client and then them coming back and saying, yeah, we'll work with you. A lot of the jobs since coming out of school was word of mouth. It was starting from one job and then promoting the shiznit out of it, and you know, Chill helping me out.
It's fine.
Yeah. Chill helping me out as well, and like spreading my name out there with the stuff that we produced together.
Yeah.
And his clientele list, that helped me a lot in getting my name out there, and that just created this huge web of opportunities. And you know, I still had to like email heaps, and I still had to hustle my way out there and get rejected so many times, but eventually like small trickles of clients will come in and be like, hey, you know, I've been referred by so and so that you can do this video or whatever, could you quote me, and blah blah blah. A lot of the times at first, you know, I didn't really know what to do, and that's why I'm very lucky to have mentors around me to guide me through that. But I did get to learn just hands-on, and I got to experience that. And I think that was really helpful, especially with mentors around me.
Dude, what is it like?
I just went blank. I just can't honestly forgot what I was gonna say.
What is it like now? Because obviously you've been freelance since you finished school.
Yeah.
And then, what was it? Maybe 3-4 months ago, you joined a brand or joined a company, and now you're full time. No, you're part time right now.
Yeah.
Part time study, part time.
Yeah. So the situation was, Basically, well, me and Chill both went through the situation where we got to a point where we were doing so much work like constantly. Like it was so full on that I didn't even have time to think in my own head. I don't think we either did, but we didn't actually know that until we actually got to stop, like really stop, like not think about anything. And I got to self-reflect a lot when I went traveling, like when we went to Japan, and then after that I had a family trip overseas for quite a while, and then I came back, and throughout that time I wasn't working for a long time, and I got to realize that, like, man, looking back at the freelance stuff I've done, am I actually proud of anything that I've done here, or am I willing to actually spread any of the productions that I've done? And out of the 2-3 years I've done it, maybe two, like seriously, two things that I would be able to show anyone that I'm proud of, or reflects a good piece of what I do. And that I was like, man, I don't know. Hey, like that's really interesting. And there was a big project that me and Chill did that did affect us, because it was a very long, prolonged project for a couple months, and it hit us hard physically and mentally due to the expectations and the delivery times and stuff like that. And that did make us step back and just like, oh man, dude, like we've got to put ourselves first and take care of ourselves. So I took a small break from freelancing and started to realize like what's better for me in my health and what's going to do better for me in the future. So I just thought, you know what, like freelancing as of right now, it's not right for me. It's just not working. So I thought, okay, how about I go try and work for a company and remain stable? Because that was also a big factor.
Because you hadn't tried that before.
No. Like
You've always been freelance.
I've always, like, from a young age, like I refused to work for anyone. It was a very big like, I don't want to work for anyone. I want to be my own business person. Like, you
Damn
know,
millennials.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when you're young, like you want to be that entrepreneur. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, this year I'm doing all the things that I told myself I wasn't gonna do. Like I'm at an 8 to 5 job, like working for a company. But that's okay. Like you don't write like what's going to be ahead of you. Like you really don't know what's going to happen. So I'm grateful for all the opportunities, and I'm grateful for where I am now. But it's certainly different. Working for a company, it has its benefits, but also has things that freelance doesn't, and vice versa. But I guess definitely like the money side, the financial side of things in freelancing was proving difficult for me. So that's the initial thought of like, man, it'd be great to be steady, like something stable, knowing that this comes in at a certain time, and knowing that I'll always be able to get work at least, 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
Not like when it's freelancing, not too sure when you'll be able to get work. It is very inconsistent depending on where you are in the industry. So the first month I started working for the company, it was full time, which was like, at first it was quite intense. Not really like physically wise, but it's just in terms of like, okay, going into work every day, 8 to 5, and sitting at the desk and editing, and just like being on like the ball and just focusing like all day. So that was really interesting. And then of course, as soon as uni hit, I had to go part-time. And that's where I am right now. And it's pretty good. Like it's okay. As of now, it's been 2 weeks we've been working from home, considering this whole situation. So we've made it work. We're doing okay, keeping our head up. But yeah, I think the stark difference is that freelance does provide the opportunities that you can be your own person, your own business, and you can go out and choose whoever the hell you want.
Yeah,
you can
decide
reject
what projects you want.
Yeah,
to work
you can
on.
literally, you are your own CEO. Whereas working for a company, you don't have that flexibility. There are a set amount of clients that the company has, and you as a videographer, you shoot and you edit, and there are people, the team managers and stuff that handle all the admin stuff, which actually is really great, because all you have to do is what you're good at, is shoot and edit.
Yeah.
As a freelancer, you have to handle from start to finish all the admin, management, all that sort of stuff, which at first is really exciting, because like I remember doing all that sort of paperwork as a young kid, was like, oh, this is really sick, like handling business like that. But it does get a bit tiresome, and you're like, man, like I want to be focusing on what what I want to do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean
absolutely.
that's like exactly mirrors my journey as well with building a wedding company. Was literally the first person that we hired was somebody to take care of the sales process, the bookings, the emails, all the stuff that isn't creative, so that we could solely just focus on shooting and editing. So to me, like that was my not even outsourcing the editing or anything like that. Like the first thing that outsourced was like the paperwork. So yeah, that is, I think that unlocks a lot of your potential as a creative. Yeah, but then also like you got to be practicing that sort of stuff in the background and keeping, because if you ever want to go freelance again, you have to keep your tools sharp, so to speak.
Absolutely. Like it's not something that just because you're creative doesn't mean business doesn't. I think that's very ignorant to think. Like if you're going into this business, you think that like, oh, I don't need to actually learn economics or anything. Like it's like when you're in school, you're going into calculus and like, dude, I'm never gonna learn this. But as you grow older, you're like, yeah, you might not, but you just don't know. You have no idea what position you might be. Like, I'm sure there's heaps of people and adults around you that are maybe accountants or in very white collar jobs, but their dreams at your age were probably to be artists and singers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You really don't know what's going to happen. So it's always really good to have those kind of skills. And I'm glad I learned that. So if I ever decide to bounce back, I'm like ready. I don't have to go back to step number one and try and relearn everything.
Yeah. Honestly, if you're going to go into freelance, like the best thing to learn is marketing.
Yeah. And I'm very glad I actually did a year of business at uni. It didn't teach me an incredible lot, but it did give me a good taste of what marketing is, business law and like economics and how.
Well, I'm not saying you have to go to uni and do marketing.
No, absolutely.
But there are books out there. Like there's maybe a handful, I would say maybe 5 or 6 books that I read that completely changed my ideas and perspectives on what it means to be in business and how to I guess master the client to like freelancer or business owner relationship and dynamic in a way where you're creating you're always creating a future for yourself, like a brighter future for yourself with every interaction. Yeah, dude, let's change it up. Let's talk about something different. What equipment are you using right now?
Dude, I have way too much, but I'm actually I'm not buying anymore. I actually don't need to buy anymore because I think
that's what we always say, but
I said that like 2 months ago, and then I posted my Instagram story. I'm not gonna buy it anymore and have a camera. But no, I think the big misconception is in regards to gear. People, I think a lot. That's very general, but a lot of people that are starting out, they want the best of the best gear. Like who doesn't want the best of the best? Yeah, everyone does. But I think you need to realize that you only need gear that applies to what you're doing. Like just stick to the functionality of things. Like you don't need to go out and buy cinema cameras when I've only done a year of freelance.
Yeah, or you're working on things that are gonna, or like videos that are gonna end up online.
Yeah, like
it's like I need to shoot raw. However, my deliverable is H.264.
Yeah, if you're
like not even 1080p.
Yeah, like I need that 8K new Canon camera.
Yeah,
but I do Facebook videos.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, just think about the gear that you're buying. Yeah, that's really cool. And do you have the money for it?
Yeah.
And first of all, why the hell are you buying it?
Yeah.
Like, do you really understand the capabilities and the function of each of that gear? Like,
I think part of it, and I think I also, I guess, battled with this as well in the beginning, was that I knew that I was capable of creating cool stuff. However, I didn't want to be at a disadvantage to other people. So like if somebody else was killing it and I knew that they use, for example, back in the day, 5D Mark III, I felt like I had to have the 5D Mark III or else I wasn't creating as good work. It's just this weird thing. Like I was using Nikon cameras and I really wanted to switch to Canon because everyone else was using it and it was quote unquote the best gear.
Yeah.
But like, it's so true. Like you use what's right for what you're doing. So
it's just like, it's like with clothing as well. It's like you see celebrities that you really like, I don't know, like rappers that you really fuck with, and you see their clothing and you're like, okay, I need to wear that because he's wearing that.
Mm.
Or the type of, I don't know, if you follow a sound engineer or a DJ and he's using that kind of gear, you're like, okay, if I want to make that kind of music,
Yeah, you need that gear.
but it's all advertising. Like that's how the market works. Like that's how they, that's how they make money, and that's just how business works.
Yeah.
But you have to go back to your roots and be like, okay, well, why do I actually need that? Like, am I actually going to be an A-grade sound engineer? Like,
Yeah.
am I going to be a huge filmmaker when I've only done a year of freelance?
Yeah.
Maybe this DSLR is actually just fine.
Mm.
Like maybe this full frame DSLR that I've only had for 6 months is fine.
Yeah. I think the only criteria that you should look at when you're buying equipment is like, is it possible to create the work that I want to create with this?
Absolutely.
Camera? It's like, and the outcome of that work. So if it's like, I want to, like, let's say raise awareness for some cause, or if I want to, let's say create a short film that moves people in a certain way, or if I want to create a video that's going to sell an apartment or a house, or capture somebody's wedding. It's like, as long as the equipment can enable you to achieve that goal, you can use that equipment, and you don't need to have, a certain resolution or frame rate in order to, it's like, I don't know. I could rant for ages about this because I get tons of questions literally every day. I get a new person in my inbox, on Instagram, as well as like comments on my YouTube videos saying, is this camera better than this camera, or should I get this camera versus this camera? And the reality of it is, you could go either and be successful.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you're spending so much of your time and energy thinking about which camera is right for you,
it's just
that energy that you're spending is taking away from your creative energy, which is creating something, writing down ideas, storyboarding. It's like, there's so many ways to create. Like, you don't even have to own a gimbal. Like, I don't own a gimbal at the moment.
Honestly, I haven't used my gimbal in ages.
But people think that like, oh, I have to have a gimbal, and it's like, oh yeah, that's a cool tool for creating certain shots.
Yeah.
And then you see these videos that come out, and every shot is done on a gimbal, and you're just sitting there going, oh my God, this is so painful, because there's no rhythm to it. There's no
substance.
Yeah, well, there's no dynamic to it, because it's all the same thing. It's all a movement shot. And the thing is that people lose sight of why you use like motivated movement in cinema. Like, you use that for a certain effect. And people are losing sight of, you use this tool or this kind of shot to achieve a look, achieve a goal, and they instead think of it as like achieving cinematic shots.
I literally hate that word. Cinematic, because people use it for the wrong intentions. It's like when people call videographers filmmakers. It's like, dude, you are not a filmmaker. Did you create a film? A 30-second social bite for a brand on Instagram is not a film. Like, you need to understand the line what that is. But yeah, absolutely, what you're talking about is completely right, because I don't think there's any like, a good friend of mine, Jalan, he always says, whatever you have in your arsenal for gear, that's like the best you can have, and utilize it. It's what you make of it. It's literally what you make of it. Like, the reason you have all this gear is specific to the functionality to your work and to what you want to create. The reason I saved up so much money to get a 60 Mark II is because I needed a full frame to deliver to the expectations of certain clients. Like, I wasn't able to do that for a crop sensor camera, hence why I did upgrade. The reason I bought a tripod is because I needed a tripod for corporate shoots, for still shots. The reason I bought a gimbal is because for run and gun videography jobs at clubs and like quick brand work, that's 2 hours and 2-3 hours. I can't do all that on handheld. They need, on that social content, they need quick, smooth shots that are going to flow and appeal clients. But when it comes to long form content, when it comes to long form content, I think people always go to, man, we need the top tier gear. Like, we need the best gimbal. We need all this cinema camera. We need all this. Like, what are you actually producing, and do you really need that? Like, what in your arsenal can you have and utilize and make the best of it? Before this mic even, I had the really small micro, and I used that for for a few months and it was fine.
Yeah.
Like I took it to traveling and stuff. But the thing was that I needed to upgrade because it being just so small and going through like various environments, I needed an upgrade. And that's why there's so many different variations of gear. Like if there was only this kind of mic and nothing else, of course everyone would buy it. But there's different types of and tiers of gear to appeal different types of levels.
Yeah.
So I think you just need to, realize like what do you actually need for your production, and like why do you need it?
Yeah.
And just have like make the best of what you can do with what you have.
Yeah. I honestly feel as though, like from a competitive sort of side of me, I'm like, this is awesome. Everyone's so focused on gear that they don't even think about the end quality product. And therefore, if I just forget about the equipment, use what I have, and just focus 100% on the quality, then I'll be able to be better than everyone else. But then part of me is like, I want everyone else to succeed as well. I believe everyone can succeed in their endeavor. And so like, I want to urge people, because I actually fell victim to this myself. Because after the 5D Mark III came out, that's when other cameras started to come out, like GH4. Like 4K started to become a thing. And that's when like the obsession with gear for me really started, because I was like, all right, I already know, like I've won awards for my videos. I already know that I've got that on lock. I can tell a story. I can create something that has substance, but I want the visuals to just go to that next level. And I fell in from about 2015 when I remember when I got the GH4, I fell into this hole of like, okay, now I've got the GH4, now I'm going back to the 5D3, now I'm going 1DX. What else did I don't know. I bought heaps of cameras. I've been through so many cameras, so many lenses, and I felt like I fell into this hole that I'm only now just coming back from. And I think it was because after I got the Red, that's when I realized.
Right. You had a Red, hey.
I still have it. It's like literally right here.
Oh, true. Which one is it?
Red Raven.
Oh, right.
After I got that camera, it was like I reached the top. And I was like, okay, I can't really...
Yeah, you can't beat this.
I can't get a better camera.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I kind of, everyone else out there, they're like, they got, the Panasonic or the Sony or whatever they've got, and they're like, oh, but later on I'll be able to get to that next level, get that C500, get that Arri Alexa, whatever. But when you get to the top, it's actually not, like, it's cool, but it actually makes you realize, like, damn, after all this time, I can only create what's in my head. Like, this camera isn't going to unlock anything else other than a little bit better picture quality.
Absolutely.
And to be honest, like, I honestly feel like that's what a lot of the reason why I loved Casey Neistat. I know everyone else loved Casey Neistat for a period there. But that's why I loved him, because at that point it was not about the gear. It was about telling a story.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then he also, I feel like, kind of fell into a little bit of a gear thing where he started buying and experimenting.
He's got
with different
shit tons
cameras.
of gear. Like his New York studio is like filled with it. But I mean, obviously,
but I think the heart of
absolutely,
his endeavor is still there, which is like just the tool that gets out of the way that enables you to create frictionless, just be able to go bam.
Yeah, the debate on gear is absolutely endless, but I think it's always about like if it fits what you need at the current time, then it's fine.
Yeah. If it enables you to create the kinds of things that you want to be creating.
Absolutely.
Because that is actually the most important thing. Like the quality of your video, like at the end of the day, like other videographers are going to care. They're going to say, oh, the quality of that camera doesn't look as good as mine, or is better than mine, or whatever it is. They're going to care. But that's why whenever I've finished a piece of work, I don't show just my videographer friends or my photographer friends. I show people who don't know anything about cameras, because I want to know their opinion, because they're not going to say, oh, the colors look whack or this or that. They're going to be like, hang on a sec, that shot was like a little bit jarring or whatever, and the videographer wouldn't even notice that because they're not focusing on that.
They all care about the picture quality.
Yeah.
That's so true though with Reds though, and climbing up to that top gear. It's like I reckon I think of it as like driving. I'm not a car person at all, but if you think about car people and people with like luxury cars, if you they all do the same thing. You hop in and you drive.
Yeah.
You turn the key, you put the ignition on, and you fucking drive. Like
Yeah.
they all does the same thing, but obviously each one has their own special boutique feature and look and design and slick to it. It's the same thing with cameras.
Yeah.
If you look at that camera right there, it does the same thing as every camera you'll see, even our iPhones. They capture content, but they obviously have these little things that make it a little bit better, and their price goes up. So, just reiterating, like if it does the thing that you need it to do at the time, then it's fine. You don't need to upgrade, and if you feel like you do, I mean, like, why do you? Like, I just don't understand. Like, people will ask, like, I really want that camera, like the new Blackmagic 6K. Okay, that's cool. I felt that same way. I've been saying, like, almost every day since it came out, I want it.
Yeah.
But I haven't got it because I can't find a reason why I need it.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I mean, not really now, but at the time, I had a bit of coin for it. I was like, I could go get that. But I researched up on it, and I'm like, oh, what? I don't actually need it. What's the point? Like, I'm not in here to make like cinema looks. I don't really need that.
Yeah.
And alongside with that, I would have had to buy all these other parts to make it actually function really, really well.
Yeah.
So, and at the time, I was just making a lot of freelance work. So I was like, okay, well, I don't really need it. It doesn't provide any more value than what my my current DSLR does. So I think it's always just about staying grounded and just thinking about that. But yeah, dude, that question, it's very frustrating. Hey, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, I get it, but I also just want everyone to remember that like it's not all about the gear. But like, let's talk about gear, because I feel like it's actually fun to talk about, and like I do make videos all the time about it. It's fun. Like, I mean, people like to watch it. Ultimately, you know, the gear videos is what attracts people to my channel, and then hopefully I think they stick around for like the actual practical advice. And I don't do a lot of that now, but that's once my channel gets more popular, that'll be like the most popular video that I put out. Not in terms of views, but like I'll put more of those videos out than gear videos.
Well, you just uploaded the video on those lenses you got from Tamron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you got rid of all the lenses, and did you manage to get rid of all of them? Like, you sell them?
My other lenses?
Yeah.
No, I think I traded in my 50mm 1.4 simply because like I didn't use it.
Yeah.
I got rid of my 100mm.
Yeah.
And I replaced those two lenses with this, which is like 35 to 150.
35 to 150.
Yeah,
That's
it's
such an
variable
interesting range.
aperture though, 28 to f4.
Yeah, right.
28.
2.8.
2.8 to f4.
Yeah.
And image stabilizer. So far, it's really good. Honestly, like I just wanted a camera. Oh no, it's broken. Damn. Honestly, I just wanted a lens that would just cover like a massive zoom range.
Dude, that definitely delivers the range.
It's actually sick so far.
Yeah.
And then my 35mm 1.4 was like really beaten up. My Sigma one, like honestly, dude, that thing was, it was pretty wrecked. So I was actually just gonna go and buy a new one.
Oh my god.
Like a brand new Sigma 35-1.4.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about just like either gifting my 35-1.4 to somebody, like one of my mates, or like just selling it for a couple of hundred because it was really beat up. But yeah, I looked at the Tamron 35-1.4 and I tried it out for a bit, and like that thing's actually really good.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I'm just gonna get this because it's like, I think it was $300 more.
Tamron's and like a very underrated brand. Like it's not something that pops up on my mind when I think about lenses.
Yeah.
But I think that sort of stuff, when you bring up gear that people have never heard of, and it does bring a new light on it, it does like trigger an interest. It definitely triggered an interest with me because I never thought about Tamron when I wanted to buy a lens. Yeah. And like, how much was that? That wasn't too expensive, hey?
I think this one's like 1,300 Australian. No, wait, maybe a bit less.
That's okay though.
One of them.
That's all right.
But honestly, my thing was just like, I just want to I want a lens where I can just put it on my camera and actually just do everything with it. But also something that's not like, has too high of an aperture, like a 3.5 to 5.6. I wasn't keen on that. Like I was looking at like 24 to 70 or like 24 to 105.
That's literally been like since I bought this lens in Japan, 24 to 70 Sigma. And I researched it because I I wasn't in the capacity to buy multiple lenses and multiple prime lenses.
Yeah.
So I wanted one lens to cover it all that I
Yeah.
could just keep on my camera and just go boom, 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 like
Yeah,
run and
yeah.
gun. So I bought it in Japan like 2 years ago, and I never needed to buy anything else until last year. I bought the 70-200 when I was doing a lot of festivals.
Which
and stuff.
7200 do you have?
The Canon
Canon?
70-200, yeah, Mark II.
2.8?
Yeah.
Mark II?
Yeah.
Oh.
Incredible
Spicy.
lens, such a
Spicy
good
maple.
lens. But yeah, I got that, and I mean, I needed it because the type of work I was doing required that sort of focal length. But the 24-70, that single lens served me so well for so long.
Yeah.
Like I have the Sigma 35.1.4,
Yeah.
but I barely use it. It's an amazing lens for portraits, and there's so many videos on that.
Yeah.
But I use the 24-70 for portraits.
Yeah.
Like for everything. Even recently, a lot of my portrait stuff have been with 70-200, like experimenting with that focal length, and that's been really fun too. So I think, yeah, I mean, it's always about functionality. Hey, like
Yeah.
I'm even considering I don't even really need the 35mm because I don't use it, and like the type of stuff I don't really need to
Yeah.
have it, to be honest.
Yeah, see, like I could do everything with 35. Like
Yeah.
I love that focal length. It's just, to me, shooting wide open at 35 for some reason has just always been my favorite thing. And I don't think I'll ever like not own a 35mm prime. And in fact, I have never not owned a 35 since I started.
It's definitely good. It's definitely good to have in your bag, I reckon.
Yeah. See, like that's going to do 80% of what I do, literally. And then I feel like, because when I travel, I just want to take 3 lenses. I realized that I just want like one lens that can do everything, which is going to probably be this one. I haven't taken it on a trip yet, but I'm hoping that it's going to be like, to me, like I've tested it out and it's awesome so far. I'm not missing anything with this. Like depth of field is still really good. And like focus speed everything's like sick. It is a pretty big lens, but I mean, for the zoom range, it's freaking awesome. So like this 35 prime and 17-35, which is another Tamron lens. So I've gone all Tamron now. Not even like I don't even have anything to do with Tamron. Like if they want to,
but if you do want to sponsor,
hit me up. But I just think like those 3, to me, I was just looking to cover as much range as possible when I'm traveling.
Yeah, true.
At the smallest amount of weight, and also not losing too much in terms of like aperture, and also not spending a bomb.
Yeah.
Like I could have gone 16, what is it? What do they make? 15-35 RF. I could have gone that, and I could have gone 70-200 RF.
Yeah.
With like the 35 1.8 RF in the middle and gone full RF. But that's like, that's like almost 10,000
Dude, the 16
Australian dollars.
16-35 Mark III L series on the Canon is ridiculous expensive. It's a good piece of glass.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
it's so expensive.
Yeah. And I've owned, like, at one point I had 270-200 2.8s.
Really?
Yeah, literally in my bag I had 2 of them for weddings.
Oh, damn.
And then I had like all the Sigma primes, and then I had like 135 Canon, 2 135 Canon primes.
Jeez.
So like after I'd finished like a wedding ceremony, I would be using the 70-200s, and then because of that extra stop of light with the 135 f2,
Yeah.
I'd switch to those 2 lenses for like reception and stuff like that. I had so many lenses.
Yeah.
And like at one point my bag was just like crazy heavy.
Dude.
And crazy expensive, but I wasn't traveling then.
Yeah.
I literally did like 2 overseas weddings in the first 5 years, and then it's only been like the last 2 years that I've actually been like overseas a lot, and that's changed my mindset. So yeah, so you have 60,
So
you
I
have 24-70, 70-200. You have, what prime do you have?
The only prime I have is a 35.
Okay.
I'm sure I have a 50mm crop for the crop sensor like somewhere in the garage, but
Okay.
I first started off with my dad's PowerShot like SX10 or some shit. Like,
Okay.
and then that's like a really just a basic like travel home camera. And then I played with that a lot, and my dad as a birthday gift saw that I was getting a lot more interest in it. So at the time there was a deal on Kogan.
Oh, really?
It was on Kogan 700D with an 18-35 and another focal length lens. I can't remember, but it was a kit. It was a kit.
Yeah.
Like little deal package. And for 2 lenses and the body, it was like maybe $750. Like such a decent deal with like 2 batteries and all that. So I had that for a solid year.
Yeah.
And I used that. What's funny is like if anyone knows like this big party thing, Metro Mouse and Animal House reference.
Mm-hmm.
I actually applied for those jobs when I was in year 12 or year 11, but I got rejected
Oh, really?
because I didn't have a full frame camera.
Oh, really? That's so weird.
No dirt on those guys though. They work hard and stuff, but like it just
They were
wasn't.
just full frame snobs.
I mean, it just wasn't meeting their gear expectations, but that's all
Yeah,
sweet.
fair
So I was just sort of like, you know what, fuck it, like I'll make my own thing. So
Mm.
I made a page called The Artist, which I promoted the shit out of to all my mates and just say, hey, if anyone has any events or parties, yo, throw me their email or their profile and I'll message them and I'll do it.
Mm.
And again, back to that quick delivery thing was my policy was, and to this day is, I'll deliver to you within the next 48 hours or you have your money back. And every event I did, I think I was consistently doing events almost maybe once a week, just 21st parties a lot. And then I got into like formal pre's, doing that sort of stuff for like a solid year. Obviously I wasn't good with savings. I mean, I didn't save at all, but all that like was really good practice of like fast turnaround. I mean, it's just photos, like quick event photos. And I did get a lot of good rapport with the people I work with, and some families call me back the next year for, I don't know, their other kids like formal pre.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. But I dealt with the 700D for my first year with events, purely with that, and they delivered really great images. But with that money, the reason I couldn't save was because with that money and other stuff, I saved up to get a full frame because I knew I wanted to upgrade from a crop sensor. So I invested into 60 Mark II. It was a decision at the time between 5D Mark IV and 60 Mark II. And I think, you know what? I don't actually know what drove me to 60 Mark II. I think it was maybe the price range at the time. I'm not too sure, but I bought that lens. I bought that camera, and yeah, I've been stuck with that since. And I gave away, or actually, I think I still have the kit lenses and the other 700D somewhere, but at the moment, my digital arsenal is just 60 Mark II, 24 to 70 Sigma, 70 to 200, and a 35 mil. And 2470 is just always on my camera. That's what I always use.
I noticed you use that a lot.
Yeah, it's like what I always use. And now, like literally the past 6 months and stuff, I've just been investing a lot into film, like a lot of film gear. I have way too much film gear now. So I've
like film as in film photography.
Yeah, film photography.
Yeah.
So I have a lot more gear in film photography rather than my digital stuff.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in Japan looking at film stuff.
Yeah, literally that was like a lot of our Tokyo trip. Actually, we're just going
to film camera
stores and like seeing the range they have.
We really should make a guide to buying film cameras and film in Tokyo.
We probably should. We should have written down all the spots that we hit up because we did go to a lot.
I think I remember them pretty well.
Oh man, I don't.
Yeah, I remember the ones that were good. I remember the ones that were bad too. So
yeah. There were a lot, but that was really fun. But yeah, I've been enjoying film a lot.
So you've been shooting like obviously you have your Contax T2.
Yeah, so
and then your medium format stuff.
Yeah, so I wanted to make a video on my channel about the film gear that I have, but yeah, currently I've got.
Dude, you should totally do that.
Yeah,
I would watch the shit out of that.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, so I have a Contax T2, which to be honest, like I kind of regret buying.
Really?
In terms of the price, the ridiculous price range.
Yeah.
Because I should have studied more on point and shoots. I purely was really attracted to it because of the Carl Zeiss lens, like really beautiful lens on a small compact point and shoot. But the price range is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's because purely celebrities like promoted the shit out of it on like the Jimmy Kimmel show or on like the red carpet. Yeah, honestly, but like that sort of thing, it just like skyrocketed the price.
Yeah.
So at the moment,
it's kind of a collector's item now.
It is. It is. At the moment, the average price online or any of the Japan stores that we went to was like at least $1,100, like Australian. So,
and it's not a new camera. No, it's an old camera.
It's an old camera, and I mean, yeah, it delivers nice photos, but there are so many cheaper point and shoot alternatives that deliver as good images. Yeah, like what's going around at the moment, especially on YouTube, which is the Olympus Stylus zoom, really small, like traveler, like mum kind of point and shoot camera that was really popular back in the 90s or something. Dude, like such a small camera you can pick up for like $60 or way less, and it's still great. Like it does what a point and shoot does. Yeah. So I sort of regret buying that, but I still use it. And that I have like 2 disposables at home. I've got a Polaroid camera, And the medium format camera that I absolutely love right now is the Mamiya 645. Like that is really beautiful. I did a lot of research on that before buying it because I knew I wanted to get into medium format.
Yeah.
And before I did, I wanted to study what it actually was and how it was different from the digital side of things, like full frame and stuff. So I wanted to understand why I want to get that. And it did open my eyes into the avenues we could explore on film. So I studied like what kind of camera is good for beginners, like with, and yeah, that just found the right option. I found a pretty decent price on eBay and got it. And yeah, it's been like a really experimental journey. Like only the past 2 shoots, I got this camera like maybe 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
And I've done so many rolls with it. A lot of the rolls I did in Japan, do 90% or maybe 80% of the rolls I did in Japan, I'm not happy with.
Really?
Nah, because I just didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Because I thought, have a light meter, do it, shoot it. Yeah.
It doesn't have a light meter inside?
It does, but like I wasn't too up to speed with it.
Oh, okay.
Like I did buy a Sekonic light meter, but I just thought it was just, like light meter, shoot it, that's all sweet. It's like, nah, man, like you gotta understand what it means to overexpose and underexpose and stops and different types of film stock and all that sort of stuff. So the past 2 shoots are the only shoots I've been really, really happy with this camera. Yeah. Which goes back to everything is a learning curve and everything is making mistakes. Like the amount of money I've like just spent on developing and scanning film and buying film stock is expensive. It's actually just so stupid. Like it's a bit dumb.
I love shooting film, but to be honest, like the amount of money, because I realized after like 2 or 3 months of like actually shooting a lot of film, the amount of money I was spending, I was like, damn, like
it's not.
Can I just like edit my photos and pretend they're film?
I do. I honestly, I do miss like coming from a shoot and coming home, putting it on the computer and like having the time to edit the photos. Like that's really, really fun.
It is cool to just get the photo back and be like, this is it. Absolutely. This is the final product. Yeah. Here you go.
So
it's super cool.
I've been thinking about like, scanning my own photos because you do get to have more creative control, but I think that's just gonna be more money out of my own pocket. So I'm sort of not doing that. But no, that's been a really great journey. So those cameras have been serving me pretty well. And just when I said I wouldn't spend any more money, I spent a bit more money onto buying a Canon EOS 3. Yeah. But again, back to like the functionality of why you want to buy certain gear was. The more and more I was shooting on this medium format camera, I wasn't using any of my digital stuff for a couple months. I was like, I don't want that to gather on dust and not be used. So I just thought, okay, how can I still use film but also digital? So I knew a lot of great photographers were using things like the Canon EOS 1V and the EOS 3, which are basically 35mm cameras that shoot on film, but you can interchange Canon lenses, like with EF
normal
mounts.
EF lenses.
Yeah, so I thought, that's brilliant. Like, I can still use my digital lenses with a film camera. Yeah, that's like exactly what I did in Japan as well. I just bought a Canon EF, like a really basic plastic piece of shit. Right. Canon EF film camera. A lot of the other guys didn't have to bring any other lenses. Yeah, true. Yeah. Our friend Chris bought one in Japan as well. Yeah, so I can't remember which one. And honestly, that I found a pretty decent price, just from Sydney for like $400 as well, just for the body. Like that's all you need as well because I got the other lenses.
Yeah, exactly.
So but like generally, anything that I buy from now on is just gonna be film stock, because for the foreseeable future, at least now, I don't need anything else. Like I'm not in the position to be making short films or anything like that. Like I don't really need anything bigger or better. Like I'm very content with what I have at the moment. And I think that's what's important, is to look at the stuff that you have and just be happy with what you can make out of the things that you have in your arsenal. Like like even if you do have just a phone or like an old film camera that you have from your granddad or something, like make the most out of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, some of my favorite videos are even just ones I recorded on my phone. Like if you use apps like like for photos like R&I film to recreate like a film look, then you can create some really nice. You can recreate some really nice. And then if you use something like Dazcam, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that app. I don't know if that's it's a top secret. It's a top secret app that we use. Dazcam is just like create like these retro little videos. Like that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, sorry, Carla.
That's been a lot of fun in the last couple of a year or so.
Yeah. It's always what you make
yeah.
of it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But so I want to ask, like, how with this big hit, I guess, like, how are you coping with this? Because I've talked to not specifically any freelancers, but I understand that if I was in a freelance position, I'd be struggling at the moment. Alongside with anyone that has a job at the moment is unfortunate to be let go of their jobs because of the current situation. So how have you dealt with that?
Yeah, so obviously right now, like, there's this virus going around, so we like.
By the way, we washed our hands and like we're okay.
we didn't like do that.
We haven't.
Anyway, so weddings are banned, which is actually still my main source of income. I make a little bit of money off YouTube, not as much as I would like to. Mainly, a lot of people, thankfully, buying my preset pack, which is awesome. For everyone out there who's bought my preset pack, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that means to me, and like that supports me so much. So thank you. As well as like the tiny bit of like ad revenue I get from my videos, and just other stuff like random little bits and pieces. So that's good. However, I have lost pretty much, like, I would say 80% of my income now,
because this just came out of nowhere. I mean, it was a very small trickle of like, okay, that's happening overseas, it's not going to hit us. Like, surely not, it's not going to affect on such a large scale how it is now. And the decisions made by the government, it's sort of just like, holy crap, like, this is just it just hits so many people's livelihoods out of nowhere. Exactly.
So I don't know, I've been thinking about what the hell I'm gonna do, to be honest.
Like, I'm sure
there's a few things I can do. Like, for example, something that I've been thinking about is, a lot of my couples, instead of canceling their wedding altogether, they're just going to postpone it to the end of the year, which means that, like, we're going to be so busy at the end of the year. And I really hope that doesn't affect, like, my consistency on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that.
True.
I really hope that doesn't affect that. But I mean, that's what we have to do at this stage. And the option for me is just to say to my couples, look, I know you're postponing to the end of the year, but do you mind just sticking with the normal payment schedule, paying me like a few months earlier so that, my business stays afloat? Because obviously I have outgoings. I've got to pay like my music subscription service. I have to pay for my insurance, my equipment insurance. I have to pay for my like public liability insurance. I have to pay for my domain. Like, there's all these outgoings like that I'm getting billed, not to mention like my living expenses, me eating, paying my rent, stuff like that. So like, I'm just asking people if they would be okay with doing that, because a lot of people still have jobs. For the people who can't do that, I'm letting them postpone their payments as well, especially the people who are postponing their wedding till next year instead of the end of this year. Luckily, I've had a few people who have had to postpone their wedding and they could not have their original videographer on the new date. So they've hit me up and they've just paid me a deposit. So I'm hoping that I will make a few little bookings simply by way of, everyone having to reschedule, the chaos around that, having to make new bookings, etc., etc. So that's kind of been a lifesaver for me. The other thing I've been thinking about as well is like, maybe this is being like super resourceful, but going back through all the weddings that I've shot previously and just like emailing my couples and saying, hey, when I shot your wedding, you didn't get raw footage, or you didn't get the full ceremony cut or the full reception cut. I still have the footage. Would you like me to make that for you? And I'll do them like a special price. Maybe if it's like 30% off, 50% off, just so that I'm getting some income. So that I'm like, I'm pumping out edits still. I'm still working, still making money. I haven't started doing that yet because, to be honest, I'm hoping this thing will blow over in the next 2 months, hopefully. And if it does, I'll be just okay. Like I'll survive. I won't be like living it. Like I won't be out here living.
You'll be on the brink. You'll be on the brink.
But like, at least I'll have like enough money put away where I can survive and whatever. But I mean, a lot of people are losing their jobs. It's scary. So what's going on with your situation?
I think I'm very, like, the timing is ridiculously like good for me because another mate of mine, Aiden, who actually at the same time when I got my job, he got an offer down in Melbourne, so he's full time there as a videographer.
Yeah.
And he and I were calling the other day, just saying like, dude, we are like absolutely grateful that at that time we moved away from freelance.
Yeah.
And we're in a position where we can still work from home and still be able to do work with this whole situation on. I'm very, very lucky and grateful for that. But we're still keeping up to date with people that obviously in a position where their entire livelihood had just been taken away from them out of nowhere. Like being a freelancer, having to do everything from start to finish, and you're dependent on businesses supplying you work, and that having been taken away from you is bloody scary. And now with everyone sort of closing and not doing work, that leaves freelancers like, okay, well, I'm just empty now. Like, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. And I think the really frustrating thing for me to see is the fact that there is no solution provided for these kind of people, or for anyone with any sort of job. Is like there wasn't a plan B or a solution. Yeah. Before they cut everyone off, they didn't think, or from our perspective at least, they didn't think of providing a solution like, hey, when this does happen to you, you'll at least have this support. Yeah. And obviously the shit that's going around with Centrelink is absolutely like cooked.
Which is our welfare system, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like my dad works in IT and at UQ at a university, and he's just sort of managing a lot of the networks that are around Brisbane right now. And the Centrelink website is like crashing almost every 2 seconds because, I mean, we're completely straying away from the original topic, like from what we first talked about. But like, I think it's really frustrating for me to see with everyone that's, you know, just in their normal livelihoods, and then everyone taken away just purely for the fact that there wasn't good management or control. And that's what's really frustrating, and it's completely unfair for these people. Yeah. Is that they're on the brink of survival purely the fact that there wasn't good enough management. Yeah. There was no backup plan. So prayers go out to you. Like, I mean, I hope everyone's well and stuff, because it's bloody hard, and everyone's trying to survive out here. And I've got hope that this thing will blow over in a couple of months. Like, I think with like how the media, not just Australian media, but in general, like how the media perceive that this is going to be an indefinite like situation. Like, no way. Like, can you really think that all these businesses are going to be like this for the next 6 months or by November? Like, nah, dude. Like, in this day and age again, like things happen quickly. It's actually been only 2 weeks since I've worked from home. It's been 2 weeks. So, and a lot has happened, and obviously it's not really starting to die down now. But if you look other countries, like places like China are getting a little bit better. Yeah. We are starting to improve. So like, keep your head up and stay hopeful. The fact that this is obviously not indefinite. Things are going to get better.
But I think it's like a good little lesson for people, because I've always been the kind of person to not let the circumstances, like, I guess, not be a victim of the circumstances. And so for now, I'm like, okay, I was pretty stupid. Because things like this do happen. Yes, they're very rare. But there's also other things that can happen, not just like a virus, but there could be other natural disasters that might happen. And I was looking at myself and I'm like, I didn't have income protection insurance. Like, that's something that, it's another expense, but if I did have it, like, I would be totally fine now. I think hoping that it would cover something like this. But like, that's just a way that you can look at it, be like, okay, this is a lesson, that, you know, it's not just, you know, there's always a way that you can circumvent like really shitty circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the worst thing that can come out of this whole situation is if we don't learn from it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if people don't know, coronavirus hit 2003.
Well, yeah, like, this is just another like type of,
obviously this is virus. Quite, you know, exponential and quite more like, you know, more severe. But if we don't learn from these lessons and obviously like appreciate the little things more, it's going to happen again. People are going to freak out more. People are going to panic. I think it's important to stay grounded. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's Corona. Yeah. Yeah. But I think, yeah, you know what? I don't even know what I think.
Yeah, it's like everyone has their own opinion on it, and like, yeah, I think I don't know. There's been some good, like, some people put some really good videos out there.
You know what, dude?
Yeah.
You know what does frustrate me? Is like, okay, when I'm about to say this, I'm not dissing anyone. Like, straight up, like, all goods. But I don't... I'm not liking the fact that people are doing this 10 push-up thing on Instagram.
What is it?
It's like, see 10, do 10. And I do...
Oh,
I
okay.
like the sentimentality of it, where it's like, okay, while you're at home, you can still do stuff. Like, you know, keep your head up and... it's not the end of the world. Like, that's amazing. That's great. And, you know, tagging people and keeping connected and all that. But I don't understand how it's a challenge. Like 10 push-ups. Like, I got tagged twice.
Yeah.
And I refused.
Dude, I don't even know how many times I've been tagged.
I got tagged twice. I'm like, okay, thanks for tagging me. Like, I appreciate that. But there's no value, or like, what's the substance in me videoing myself doing 10 push-ups? Oh man, like, yeah, that's gonna help. Like, that's gonna help people survive this.
I mean,
Maybe that's a really dark and negative way of seeing it. But
for
like,
some people, it's the first time they've done push-ups in their life. Like being tagged.
Literally, I've seen some push-ups. I'm like, man,
Yeah,
like, Jesus.
that is not a push-up.
Like, Jesus, that's not even a push. Like, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Fucking hate all you want. But.
Dude, that's another lesson from this. Like, I need some backup workout equipment here. My gym's shut. Like, I'm like, I was like, I got a kettlebell, so I can do.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Like, I can do a lot of stuff with like one kettlebell. That's sweet. I've been working out every day.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, how am I gonna do like chin-ups? Like, how am I gonna work out that part?
I've been getting more into like a lot of bodyweight stuff.
I don't have a chin-up bar.
Yeah, true.
Do you have any ideas?
I've just been doing bodyweight stuff. I
Yeah.
downloaded this app called Freeletics, which is like calisthenics stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just bodyweight. I did it this morning, and like, it feels good. Like, I don't have to do any weights. I just got a skipping rope, that sort of thing. But it's the most you can do. It's like, again, when you make most out of like what you have.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is, man, it is so like, it's really cringeworthy for me. Maybe I'm just like a really negative person, but like, it's really cringeworthy for me, for people like have this list of things that they can finally start doing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can't appreciate those little things and aren't already doing that outside of your normal life, then like, how are you really living?
Yeah.
I guess you're very material. I mean, it's definitely opening up people's eyes to like how materialistic we are, and appreciating the small things. And like, that's really great. Like, this has opened up your eyes, but don't promote the fact that like, okay, now that we're all isolated, we can finally start doing this, and
doing things for ourselves.
and we can start calling our loved ones. I'm like, dude, if you're not already calling your loved ones like already, maybe once a week, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe I'm just like a really shit person. I don't know. I don't know. Take it as it is.
All right. So
How far are we?
we've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes now.
Oh damn, dude!
yeah.
If anyone's stuck to the end, like, props to you. We've talked all some
Fucking oath.
all sorts of stuff.
Dude, like, so yeah, what's your let me start here. What's your goal like with YouTube at the moment? Are you just like putting out videos for fun, or what is it?
The reason I even started my first video on YouTube was purely it was the same reason why I did videos at school, was to share with my friends. Like, I grew up in an old boys school for 6-7 years, so that camaraderie and sort of that brotherhood thing was a very big factor in my life, and it still is. So for me, that was really huge, of just like wanting to share with like a lot of the people that I grew up with, and just seeing what I'm up to. I mean, I never promoted the fact that you had to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to watch it, but it was also like, I got family overseas and stuff. So it was just another avenue for me to be myself, share what the hell I wanted to do, and just share it to people.
Yeah.
And you didn't like, if you don't want to watch it, then you don't have to click on it.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it, you go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, it was just one of those things. And traveling was a really good avenue for me to just like, again, like, share to my mates and my family who are overseas, and just see what I'm up to. And people enjoyed it. I don't think I've ever had any negative comments, which is really cool. And no one's been like, I don't know, negatively criticizing me. Even if they did, I'd just be like, dude, why are you watching it then? Like, stop wasting your time.
Yeah.
If you don't like my face, just go away. Like, but that's been the core value for me. And at the moment, it's been just a really good way of expressing myself in ways that I can't on Instagram or on any other platform that I have. I think there is so many different platforms online, like Vimeo, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, even TikTok, but they all have their own different, I don't know, aims. Like
Yeah.
there's a reason for you to upload on those certain things. So for me, I think YouTube's an amazing platform for you to be yourself. And for the more the reason just to share and connect with people. So for me at the moment, I want to create more videos on YouTube, just to show what I'm up to, and showing people why I do what I do, how I do it, and just what I get up to with shoots, especially.
Just documenting.
Yeah, just documenting really. Like I remember the first year I was doing a lot of work. I had a lot of questions and just like things from my mates from school, just saying like, dude, how'd you get into that? Like I just saw you at school like a year ago, and now you're doing this. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate those comments because I'm glad that people were still supporting me from school. But I guess now this is a really great opportunity for me to show and tell people and look, like just let people know my own story and how I got to where I am.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important to be honest and genuine and candid about it. I'm very much a person of expressing the bad and terrible things that happen in your life as well as the good things.
Yep.
Everything is not sunshine and rainbows. That's just how life is. You can't be happy all the time. Like imagine just being around someone that's happy all the time. You know, like I think it's important to be real. And that's what I want to really emphasize on anyone that does YouTube is just be as real and honest as you can. And people appreciate that. I think,
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's what's really great about vlogs. It's like you don't have to make it so polished. Like I just do the best I can to maintain quality. But in terms of just candidness, I just film everything and just document everything and just have a bit of fun with it. Yeah, don't have to take things too seriously. And I think that was my main philosophy with it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like maybe sometimes too invested in my channel being successful, and that guides a lot of like my choices of like what kinds of videos I make, and what I put out, because like I've made videos that nobody watches before, and I was like, oh, this is such a good video because it shows this part of me and this side of me, you know, the fact that I'm really into skateboarding or something like that. And the reality of it is that like a lot of people just don't really care.
Yeah, dude.
And I think that's okay though, like because for the people that do really care about me, like they probably really enjoyed that video.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so like I always want to put out a good mixture of stuff where it's like things that I want to show about my life and things that are important to me, but then also like offering value to people, because like I want the channel to grow, because ultimately I like want my message, like because I basically like the cliff notes of my story is that like my parents wanted me to go to uni and get a job, but I wanted to be a creative, and I had the opportunity to take over my family business, which I wasn't super stoked on. I wasn't excited about that at all. But like my true passion was like to be a photographer, a filmmaker, a creative. And within 18 months of becoming really serious, I wouldn't say buying my first camera because I did mess around a lot, but within 18 months of like making the decision of like, I'm going to be serious about this, I was full time. And I want to show other people not only that it's possible, but actually give them the tools, like how to do it. So in that instance, it's like, I just want to help as many people as I can. And so therefore the amount of people that watch each video I put out is important to me. But I just want to make sure that when I do put out the videos that actually help people go full time, if they're like a starving artist or they're a part-time freelancer, they're not full-time yet. Like I want them to be able to, you know, watch those videos and get a ton of information and value out of it.
Yeah, I think value is a really big thing. That's what I'm also starting to get into. It's like it's all fun about just creating vlogs and stuff and having fun with it, but it's really like I love like seeing people succeed. Like it's a really good thing to see people grow. And when they listen to the advice they give you, it doesn't just go through one ear and out the other. They actually listen to it, they absorb it, and they apply those tools to their own journey. And seeing that is like really fulfilling. And as a person that has a bit of experience and to provide value to someone that has little, and to see them work on it and actually succeed from that, I think that's really like great. I think that's just amazing.
Yeah.
And
I think everyone wants to be a vlogger. Everybody wants, like,
anyone can.
Yeah,
Like,
well, they
it's-
can.
yeah.
But I think the thing that you need to remember is that, like, everybody has something to offer. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Like, I always like think about that as something that I want to keep at the forefront of my mind, is that, like, I can learn something from anybody. Doesn't matter what stage they're at. If they're a beginner, if they're advanced or whatever, I can learn something from everybody. But the thing is that everybody has something to offer. You just need to figure out what that is. And the reason why people who start vlogging don't gain an audience, they might make 1,000 videos and never get anywhere, is because they're not giving the viewer any value. They're just showing what their life is.
Yeah.
But if you can say, okay, you know, today I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to the cafe. I'm going to buy a coffee and do some work. Then I'm going to go home and I'm going to feed my cat. Then I'm going to go to the gym. It's like, nobody really cares. It's just like a normal person doing something.
Yeah.
But if you make that video shot in an entertaining way, and you also inject a lesson into it, you know, maybe halfway through the day you sit down and you say, you know, I want to talk about, if we're talking about something that we do, like, for example, how to generate word of mouth in your business, or like the one thing that I did that enabled me to network with this person or that brand or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, if you just add a little lesson into each vlog, then all of a sudden you're still entertaining people. People are still experiencing your life. You're still, you know, but then you're also offering people value. And in turn, for that value, they'll give you their attention and maybe a subscribe, maybe a like, maybe they'll watch your next video, and then maybe they'll tell a friend about it. And that's how you grow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that I need to learn as well, is like, it's all fun and games posting, but the harsh, cruel reality is, and again, being a little bit, it's not even really dark. It's just sort of, it is the reality of things, that people don't care about you. You are this little thing in this huge universe. If you want people to care about you, you need to provide value.
Yeah, you need to give them something.
So if you think about all the top tier subscribed YouTubers out there, think about why they're so good at what they do. It's because they provide essential value to the people that need it.
Yeah.
They don't just post about like look at Casey Neistat. Like his life is amazing in New York, but he does provide a small lesson in whatever it might be. It might it might be invisible to a lot of people, but in some, it might actually provide a really good lesson.
I think you can break it down into two avenues. There's like providing value in terms of like information, and then there's providing value in terms of entertainment. And I feel as though like a lot of channels do toe that middle line, which I think is really good, because that's something that I'm working on. I'm 100% information, and like I feel like at the moment maybe 95% information, 5% entertainment. There's very little entertainment value, and I feel like I have a personality, so I can actually provide entertainment. But I'm just like, I don't really know what to do, and I don't want to put myself out there too much in case people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
It's really hard.
But for example, like, you know, the people who don't really offer like informational value, but still like are like massive, they have a life that you want to watch, that you want to like have some kind of like voyeuristic, you know, you want to be able to see it, what they're doing behind closed doors. It's like, I want to know what that lifestyle is like.
Yeah.
And that's like information as well. It's like, what is this person's life like? But it's also entertainment. So I would put like Casey Neistat into that. And I would put like, you know, somebody like, what's his name? That
David Dobrik?
Yeah, David Dobrik, for example.
For sure.
Dude, like one person, you know, Sam Damashek? He doesn't do vlogs or YouTube.
No,
right?
he doesn't.
Dude, I would love to see what that dude gets up to.
Dude, he has an interesting life.
Yeah, exactly. And if he started a YouTube channel,
and he's young as fuck, dude.
Yeah, if he started a YouTube channel, I would 100% watch that.
Absolutely.
It's like, if you're not already that person who has an interesting life, you know, you need to offer value. Well, that's the only way.
That's the biggest reason also why, like, we live in I'm not to shit on Brisbane, but like the kind of shit on Brisbane is that like we don't have the amazing cultural creative capabilities as much as other cities in this country and overseas. Not to say we have none at all. I think I was narrow-minded to think Brisbane is very limited, but that's because I didn't go out and actually find and talk to people. Like there is actually heaps of potential out there in this city.
Dude, yeah, for
but
sure.
I think just
in every
like
city, there's somebody
absolutely
doing something.
But the current lifestyle I'm living is not exactly an interest to heaps, or not even to me. So I doubt to other people.
Dude, I think It is interesting.
But,
Like,
I mean,
I
yeah,
feel as though,
yeah.
if I didn't know you personally
Yeah.
and I just saw your work, I would be like, I want to see what this, like, I want to see the behind the scenes. I want to see what this dude's getting at, because I love your work, man.
Oh,
You've
thanks, man.
inspired me a lot.
Appreciate that.
100%. It's actually really humbling. Like, you're so young, like so fresh into this, and like already inspiring people, you know, who've been in it for a long time, like me. So yeah.
I'm very, very humbled to think that I could even inspire anyone. Like, that's a very humbling word, but I've got to contribute like a lot of that to people like you and Chill, who are able to provide me knowledge and mentor me through that. But that really goes back to being able to put yourself out there. And that 5% entertaining part, I think it's really difficult, because it's really easy to provide information and regurgitate it, but it's harder to become a real person because of the potential backlash you might get, the judgment and the criticism, and also the fact that like you want to keep a bit of yourself for yourself. Like you don't want everyone to know about your private life. Like, so I understand that becomes a little bit difficult, but I think just as like a local person, a small local person here in Brisbane, at least for me, I don't really care. I don't care if clients like happen to see my YouTube channel and do dumb shit.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, okay, I saw your YouTube channel. I don't want to work with you. I'm like, okay, cool. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't want to work with you either.
Yeah.
But it's amazing if you get a client that sees your YouTube channel and still wants to work with you. I think that's freaking amazing.
For sure.
And that clearly shows and reflects the type of people they're going to work with. And those are the people that you will want to work with.
Yeah.
Not just some snobby people that might provide you a bit of cash, but start to see the real side of you, and they're like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't want to hire you, man.
Yeah.
It's like, again, YouTube is a way for you to be yourself and express yourself, but that doesn't degrade the work that you do. Like your Instagram and your YouTube are different. They both work and synchronize together, but the shit that I do on YouTube doesn't directly reflect that on what I do on Instagram. Like just the fun, entertaining stuff in the vlogs that I do on YouTube isn't like, oh, that means, you know, I don't take my shoot seriously.
Yeah.
And if anyone thinks that, you are so narrow-minded. Yeah. So honestly, I didn't really know where my point was running with that. But
Well, I think, yeah, we kind of like come full circle a bit, which is cool.
oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. How long have we been talking for? All right.
Dude,
It's like
again,
an hour
if
and 40
anyone,
minutes.
if anyone's been,
if you're sticking around now, thank you.
dude,
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like this is the first of many. I hope.
I hope.
Not sure if all these podcasts are going to take place in this same spot.
Traveling podcast.
Probably change it up, but yeah, I think I just want these conversations to be like really natural, and just bring in somebody who has a unique experience on being a creative, and just talk and like just talk shit basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like we always have these conversations, whether it's over a game of pool or over like dinner or something like that, and we're like, man, we're like so passionate about this conversation right now. If only other people could like hear this. Like we both like bond over a certain thing that we've learned, and we're like, damn, we should record this. And that's like what the podcast isn't born out of. Like, I don't even know if this is a podcast. It might just be like posted on YouTube, and that's it. But like the podcast is not born out of the fact that everyone has a podcast and that it's the cool thing to do right now. It's born out of the fact that we always have these conversations, and we're like, if only the world could hear, if only that like kid who just finished school, they want to get into photography, they have no idea like what the first move is. If only they could be a fly on the wall for this conversation, they would actually learn some of the fucking stupid mistakes that we've learned. Honestly, and not repeat them.
Straight up, because that's how I was able to be like when I first started. Like, Chill basically told me, here's what not to do.
Yeah.
Here's exactly what not to do. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll write that down. I'll tattoo it. Like fucking, that's what not to do. And I think that's great about these conversations is that as long as we're real about it, dude, everything like this whole business is insane. Like it's incredible, but it has its downsides. If you're not talking about the downsides, then you're not being real about it. But don't just talk about the downsides.
Yeah, talk about the solution.
You got to talk about the solutions too. There are a lot of podcasts out there that will like just talk about the shit that's in this industry.
Yeah.
It's like, oh
And not
man,
provide the
this
solution.
really sucks. Like, I'm not getting paid. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but okay, now
what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? You're just gonna
it's like
keep
before,
moaning?
like I've been brainstorming the last few days. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck am I gonna do? I'm
Yeah.
like sad. I'm like upset, but I'm also like, I have to do something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna starve and die.
Yeah.
Like,
literally.
yeah. I think, yeah, that's cool.
So if anyone, I think anyone that comes on this podcast, or does
This
podcast,
is a warning.
yeah, don't. No,
Nah.
but if you are, if you're making anything else like this, just be, I think, be open enough to express yourself, like both positives and negatives. Don't be too one-sided on either. Just like express the both and provide solutions.
Yeah.
Like, no young kid is going to want to get into this business if they just hear that freelancing is a
Yeah.
money suffocating job.
Dude, like, I think being in this for so long, you begin to forget how good we actually have it.
Oh, man.
Like,
Yeah.
for example,
Absolutely.
most days I make up as I go.
Mm.
Like, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be like, a client emails me and they're like, hey, just wondering about the video, like how far along is it? And I'm like, damn, yeah, I should really finish that. And it's like, I had plans, like a rough plan for the day, but things come up and you react to them. And it's like, no, you know, any other job, you're just listening to commands. Like, you don't have the freedom to be able to say, okay, I'm going to go to the cafe. Well, not that we can do that right now, but I'm going to go to the cafe and work on that video for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Or like, for example, dude, if I finish all my projects, like by this week, then next week I can literally just work on YouTube, or I can like make like a sick Instagram post or something.
I think,
Like,
yeah.
you can just figure out, like, I edit it in bed sometimes. Like, I lie in bed and I edit. Like, I'm being
I
productive.
think that's what
but, like, you
that
can
is
never
incredible.
do that at a full-time job.
I think, yeah,
So
absolutely.
there's so many good things about it.
I think, again, what I promote is, you know, you don't really know what's important or like for you in your life unless it's being taken away from you or you no longer have it. And
Dude,
I think
100%.
being not in the freelance world, and it's made me appreciate it more. It's been like, oh, dude, like the freedom you have with it. And if you're a very fly on the wall person and you're just like, man, I want to be my own person and have my own business, I understand that there is difficulty with that, but that's like with any job.
Yeah.
But the amount of freedom you can have, it's amazing. Like what you just said, like editing in your bed, like no other job can you just edit in your bed.
Well, now you can.
Now you can.
Everyone working from home.
Everyone,
at the moment,
you can do that now. I guess everyone's a
sucker."
freelancer now. But I think it's
Yeah.
just amazing the amount of freedom you have as a freelancer is that you can pick and choose. I mean, when you first start out, you got to try different things.
Yeah.
But when you can get to a point where you can just pick and choose the specific clients. that you
Yeah.
wanna
Some
work
days
with.
I don't put pants on.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
it is what it
you
is.
can edit naked. Like that's a thing.
All right. And on that note.
Yeah, on that note.
I think we should wrap it up. We've been talking for ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks so much, man.
Dude,
It's been
thanks for having
a
me.
pleasure and can't wait to have you back.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah,
be
for
sick.
sure. I'm
And,
excited to
looking
see more episodes from this. Hey.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and looking forward to yeah, like obviously seeing more YouTube videos from you hopefully in
Yeah.
the future.
Please visit. Come along.
Yeah, dude, subscribe to Simon's channel. I don't know anyone who's watching this. You know, I'm gonna start a new YouTube channel, so there's literally gonna be like.
Oh, so this is gonna be a new channel.
Yeah, I will
Okay.
have less subscribers than you. So yeah, you know, to my subscribers out there, you know, definitely subscribe to Simon. Definitely subscribe to Simon because yeah, just like watching him document like what he's doing, and then recently he put out a video that I thought was really helpful. So I don't know, maybe you'll do more of those in the future.
Yeah, I'd like to, and I think
yeah.
it's definitely I'm not treating this situation staying at home as a limitation thing.
Yeah.
It definitely does force you to be like, okay, what can I do in this very small space?
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully I can create some more stuff. But yeah, if you subscribe, I'll be very happy.
Do it.
So
And
yeah,
follow
let's
him on
do that.
Instagram. I'll put the Instagram link in the bio as well.
Yeah, if
The-
you do that,
in the
that'd be cool.
description.
But
Alright.
I mean, you do what you want.
Alright.
But
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
That's it for now.
Air
I guess,
5?
hey. Air 5. Boom. You're keeping it safe, kids.
All right. Cheers, guys.